It's cool. I understand.
I get it. I get it. So what do we got going on?
We're just playing some home games on Poker Stars, but the America's Card Room game is going to be starting in 40 minutes. I'm just going to get your picture on the camera so people don't think I'm talking to a ghost.
Sure.
And they can see your. What kind of jersey is that? Is that like a?
Shh, that's a WPN.
Wow! Wow! All right, I got to get this on screen ASAP. ASAP. They got to see this WPN jersey. All right, screen region. Bam. We got it. Okay. And then I'm just going to place you. Oh, yeah. Right now you're in my place. They're like, dude, where the fuck did Evan go? Don't worry, I'm coming back, people. No need to freak out. All right, so we just shrink it up. And, yeah, first off, thanks for adding that value to the prize pools today.
Yeah, no worries.
For both
no
of the
worries.
tournament.
It's good to have all the support that we've been experiencing recently.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys have done a great job. Like, I started playing on your site probably 2 years ago, and I was actually shocked that there was a U.S. friendly site where the software didn't look like it was invented in like 1983.
I'll tell you what, it's been a long time coming. We've been working, hard at it, and you definitely have your setbacks, and yeah, you do the best you can.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're bringing it all back. It's good
So,
stuff.
before I take any like questions from the people,
Sure.
why don't you go ahead and tell people, why America's Card Room over the other sites? What are some of the big things that are coming out soon that they should be aware of?
Well, I mean, I'll get into that. We've got the OSS happening right now. Starts today. We've got a $1 million tournament a week from Sunday. It's kind of a big deal, especially for all the U.S. guys who haven't done that in a long time. We're definitely the only ones that are really thinking outside the box. One of the things I wanted to point out was we do have the Sunday special. I don't know if you played that.
Is that the 100K guaranteed?
No. It's the Sunday special. It started 30K guaranteed, and I said I'd just add 5K a week to it every week, that it didn't overlay until it stops. And I don't want to be misquoted and tell you wrong, but I'm going to guess that it's going to be 55 or 60K next week.
That's strong.
But I'm going to check real quick.
Yeah.
And so I mean that it's doing different stuff outside the box that nobody else is really doing. Trying to bring poker back, right? Because it's been a while. Yeah, next week I think it's. Oh, where's the Sunday special? I'm not very good at this.
Sort it by buying.
Oh yeah, 55K.
Okay, and that's the $200 early 200 rebuy, right?
Right, the early 215.
Yeah, I think I played it the first week when it was like 15K. And I'm like, why am I playing a $200 tournament with the prize pool small? But now it's big, so that's all.
Right. See, there you go. There you go. And let's see. You know what? I'll tell you what. When you go to a lot of the sites, you're just going to see more of the same. It's when you come to America's Card Room and you actually spend a little time digging around and seeing what there is to offer. It's like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
We got a lot. We're offering Bitcoin, right? We're taking Bitcoin deposits and payouts.
Bitcoin for real. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of guys are enjoying that. And what else? You can spin. You can play our little Spin-A-Lite and win a seat to.
That thing's hilarious, man.
Isn't it great? Wait. Let's just talk about because it took me a long time to decide whether to do this or not, and whether it was actually a good thing for poker or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what it's done is we're getting about $150,000 in seats, right, from that spinning slot. That's somebody on 2+2 called it a Spin-A-Lite.
Yeah, so give me a sec, Phil. Guys who are listening who don't know what the Spin-A-Lite is it's basically you go to the lobby of the tournament, and then there's a little slot machine where you can wager however much you want, from $1 to like $100, and the more you wager, the more likely you are to.
It's a penny. It's a penny all the way up to $1.
A penny to $1.
Yeah, you can't spend more than $1 per spin.
Okay. And then if you hit like the jackpot spin out, you get a seat to the tournament without actually having to play like a poker satellite.
And the good thing about it is it's a 2% hold, right? So it doesn't like destroy people. And we actually had a guy. He hasn't responded back to me, so I can't say who it is.
Okay.
But a guy won a $540 seat to the $1 million tournament for 28 1-cent spins, for 28 cents. That's solid.
That's really funny. I had a guy last time when we hyped the first winning millions that satellited in for like $1 through spinning. So I was like, oh, like people actually play that? I'm like, actually, I would imagine a lot of people would play that because it's fun, it's easy, and you got like that little bit left in your account. You're like, maybe I can turn it into something that I can actually play. Like, you know how annoying it is when you got like 55 cents in your account and you can't play anything? Yeah. You're just like, what am I going to do with it?
Right, and you just don't want to light it on fire. Right? Mm-hmm. You could actually have a real shot at something. And I mean, exactly. It's turned out to be really, really good. Because people are like small stakes guys are able to get into $50 tournament, $100 tournament with a couple of bucks, and if you lose a couple of bucks, maybe next time, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So that's super fun. That's actually really been good for the poker community, at least with us.
Yeah, that's super original. Well, first off, like, I mean, you can mention that like you have a lot of late registration, a lot of re-entry in your tournaments, which is nice because people don't have to feel devastated when they bust that first bullet. When, like they waited all week for the Sunday tourney. It's like, oh, I got knocked out and I'm 30 minutes in. Now I got to go spend time with my wife again. God damn.
No, baby, I'm still in.
Oh, shit. All right. I hope my little straight's good here. Don't mind me. I got like a couple of tournaments going. People always bluff it and play money games, man. They just don't. Yeah. They just don't respect it, that it's still like a real game. I know something that people would probably be interested in, because when you told me about it, I was like, that's very original, and that is sounds very, very fun. And that is the cage. I think it's the cage.
Yeah. The cage has been it was going to start out and it was going to be a monthly thing we were going to do. And I've actually changed it, and we're going to put it along with our tournament series because it's so big that doing it that often is going to be tough. But let me tell you what it is. Basically, the cage, it's a $5,000 buy-in, right? It's 4 hours long, and the blind levels start at 10.20 with a $2 ante. An hour and 20 minutes later, they go to 25.50 with a $5 ante, and then end at 50-100 with a $10 ante. Right? You start with 5,000 starting chips. You play for 4 hours, and at the end of the 4 hours, the chips you have in front of you are cash. Right? So it's like a cash game, but like a tournament. It's something that's just nobody's ever done before. Yeah. The first one we did had I say 66 people. I might be misquoting there, but it was close to that. It was like $300,000 prize pool.
Yeah. Did you get the idea for that from like the home games, the private games you play where you start out playing 5-10 and then people get stuck and they're like, dude, fucking 10-20. They're like, 25-50. We got to play 50-100. I got to get even in this game.
It's actually funny. I came up with it like I don't know, it was 4 years ago. I was at I was in Punta Cana at one of our live tournaments, and this guy wanted to play me heads up, but I knew that he was one of those guys that would win one buy-in and say, "Oh, I'm done," and whatever. I'm just not into that. And I said, "Well, let's make it like a cage match, right? And just go ahead and put 10K out on the table and we'll play. And it's if in 3 hours we're not somebody has all of it or none of it or whatever, we'll stop." And he wouldn't actually do it, but that's what gave me the ideas. I didn't want him to run away, and that's where the cage came from. Is the bum hunting and the hit and runs and this and that, and kind of what the idea is I wanted to give people an experience that they wouldn't go buy for themselves. Mm-hmm. Right? It's where that's why we run a lot of satellites to it and everything else. And it's for the cash game players out there. You think about it, like the last one we had, I want to say 20 some odd satellites that ran into this $5,000 cage tournament. for a cash game guy, you're never going to find that kind of value in that kind of stakes of a cash game ever. Like it just doesn't exist on the internet anymore.
Yeah.
So it's that's one of the things that we got going on that's pretty unique. And we've since then we do every Wednesday we do a $500 mid stakes cage.
Yeah, mini cage. That's good. Yep.
$500 buy-in, same kind of structure. Chips you end with cash. It was pretty solid. It's pretty solid.
I think it's also good how like with the blinds going up, like it's because if you have a high stakes game where there are a couple of whales who come to make the game happen in the pros, if it's super deep stacked, the weaker players are just at such a massive disadvantage. But by forcing the blinds to go up, you level out the playing field a little bit and give them a better chance to make a score or get even or just take the pros out of their comfort zone, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is I want to keep it infrequent enough that it's really going to take people some real time to get a good feel for it. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, if you can only play it once every couple of months, and it's the best action you can get, but you can't. It's going to be hard for people to solve it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's the optimal play? The way to play it. So I like that. I like that as well.
Right. So there's the cage, and then there's a mid stakes cage. Do you guys have? I don't know if it's worthwhile because the rake wouldn't be so high, but do you have the idea of maybe adding a micro cage down the road, like a 55?
They had to really twist my arm to make the mid stakes cage.
Okay.
Because again, it's I don't know how high stakes you guys have played, but as a poker player, we all remember the very highest stakes that we've ever played.
Yeah.
Right. And very vividly. Right? Yeah. What my whole goal was in trying to bring poker back was to give people those experiences again.
Right.
Because maybe when we were like 20, 22 years old, or just younger and dumber than we are today.
We got a lot of 22-year-olds watching, by the way, but they'll laugh.
That's why I said it's however old you are, you were younger and dumber than you were yesterday, right? So it's God, I'm so old. Anyway, it's when we were younger and dumber, and we played stakes that were like way beyond our bankroll management, and we didn't really realize it. And there you find yourself playing, 25, 50, 50, 100. And it was just. I mean, it was for the rush, but you were doing it. Now that we understand things more and we realize how big those games really are, right? You just don't want to play them.
Yeah, it's true. Once you got those other responsibilities where you're like, right. Losing 5K would really limit my ability to do a lot of other things that I need to do. And I guess it's also good that by not doing it, you keep it more exclusive, you keep it more special. Because if you had a micro stakes cage, it's not as big a deal. And this way, people are like, let's satellite in because that's the thing. That's the big deal. You keep it really special.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is but now on the flip side, if you've done that before and you've been at those stakes, poker's just not exciting moving down to 50 cents a dollar.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's just like you look at poker, 4 or 5 years ago, and how many U.S. players played. Mm-hmm. It was a lot, right? A ton. And those guys, tons of those guys are not playing. Well, once you've learned to play poker and you've done good at it, or done good or done bad, or just put in a bunch of hands, it's part of you. You don't forget how to play.
Yeah.
And my feeling is poker players don't generally stop playing. They just move down. Right?
Yeah.
And nobody wants to move down. So it's all those guys that to try to bring them back. Where they to deposit $200 and go play some 50 cent in the dollar just isn't exciting, and it's more exciting to go, I don't know, let's take the wife to a movie, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe go have a beer by yourself, whatever your deal is.
Yeah.
It's where depositing $200 and playing 3 or 4 satellites to win this $5,000 seat. Now that's worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, to try to bring poker back. And it's I've definitely had a lot of people tell me that it is friggin' cool, and it was a definite adrenaline rush when they were playing.
That's very good. So you're bringing the excitement back, you're bringing the fun back, and I know worldwide that's the thing, but even more so in America, more Americans they play for fun, they play for the rush, The Euros are like, we play to make some money. But like the Americans are like, dude, I just want to have some fun. I just want to gamble. I just